Hi Brollies, Marvin here from TechBroll.com, where we do unboxings, reviews, and sexy bureaus. And today we're going to do an unboxing and quick review of the new Fantech Helios Go XD5 gaming mouse. I think this is going to be my new daily driver, and I'll explain to you later why. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so right here we have the packaging for the Fantech Helios Go XD5. And as you can tell here in front, we have an image preview that gives us an idea that this mouse is ergonomic mouse and that is geared towards right-handed users. So the weight of this mouse is around 72 grams, which is pretty lightweight for a wireless gaming mouse. And then on the other side, we have an image preview that gives us an idea about the side profile of the Fantech Helios Go XD5 and that this features dual power mode, wired and wireless. On the side of the box, we just have the package contents as well as other technical information. And finally, here at the bottom, we have some key features as well as the complete technical specifications that we're gonna discuss right now before we unbox this. So in terms of the sensor, what we have here is the PixR3370 that, as we all know, is pretty decent for competitive FPS games, especially for such a budget gaming mouse like this. So in terms of the connection, like I said earlier, we have dual connection, wired and wireless, but instead of Bluetooth, we have 2.4 GHz wireless frequency, which is more stable. But of course, the drawback is we're limited with one device at a time. So we have onboard memory, and of course, we have true RGB 16.8 million colors, and we have 80 million clicks, which is the Kale GM 8.0. And then of course, we have a total of 6 macro buttons or 6 customizable buttons right here. So let's go over the specifications real quick. So again, the sensor is 3370, 1000 Hz polling rate. We have on-the-fly adjustable DPI from 800 to 19,000. And then of course, our IPS is 450 grams acceleration. The switches, like I said earlier, is Kale GM 8.0 with up to 80 million clicks. And for the battery, we have 300 mAh, which should last up to 40 hours. So the length of the wire is pretty standard, 1.8 meter, and the weight is again 72 grams. With that being said, let's go and unbox this. So this is a slide up type packaging, as you can see here. So inside the box, we have the mouse itself. There you go. And apparently, we have another accessory box right here. So first, we have the paracord cable, which is USB Type-C, and apparently the USB Type-A plug has some sort of gold plating, but the USB Type-C part doesn't have, so that's actually quite weird, but that's okay. And then we have some cable management silicone tie here, and again, the cable is paracord, so it should be lightweight as well as relatively flexible. And inside this, we have 4 replacement PTFE gliders, which is cool and pretty standard for any packaging. And then we have the user manual right here, written in various languages because of course Fantech is an international brand. There you go. And we have the warranty card as well as a personal, I guess, thank you note from Fandy, which is the CEO of Fantech. So lastly, we have some anti-slip rubber stickers right here, which is awesome and highly appreciated. Again, especially for a budget mouse like this. So finally, let's take a look at the Fantech Helios Go XD5. There you go. Whoa. Okay, so again, the shape of this mouse is ergonomic. That is targeted towards right-handed users. Now, in terms of my personal preference, I think, like I said earlier, I think this is going to be my new daily driver. Because the shape, although I'm not a fan of ergonomic mouse, the shape actually perfectly matches the shape of my hand. As you can see here, as you can see, my hand is relatively small and obviously chubby. So that's why I prefer the Logitech G304 here. But as you can see, this one is equally tiny as well, and again, should match my personal preference when it comes to the size and shape. But before we discuss about the size and shape, let's just do a quick parts overview so that we can check out the different components and design language of the Fantech Helios Go XD5. So right here at the top view, we have the left and right mouse clickers. We have the DPI, we have the scroll wheel, we have the DPI button, we have the back cover, and then flipping on this side, we can have an idea about the curvature and bump of this mouse, which is towards the center. And then we have the forward and back buttons. And then turning it here at the back side, we have a smaller logo, Fantech logo, as you can see here, which if you prefer a more minimalistic or cleaner look, I'm pretty sure you're going to appreciate this compared to the previous one, the XD3. The change or the improvement is actually quite significant, as you can see here, night and day. So yeah, you can also have an idea about the curvature of the mouse here, and then flipping it on this side, there you go. So again, this is geared towards the right-handed user, so we don't have any buttons here on this side. And then flipping it here on the front side, we have the USB Type-C port, nicely recessed here at the center. And again, you have an idea about the profile or curvature of the mouse. And finally, here at the bottom, we have 4 PTFE gliders. And it looks like we have a smooth surface here at the center around the sensor. Speaking of the sensor, again, we have 3370 from PixArt. And then we have the LED adjustment button, as well as the on and off switch for switching between wired and wireless mode. And lastly, we have a sticker for the technical details and other information about this mouse. So going back here at the top, let's do a quick sound test so that you can have an idea how this button sounds and feel. So first, we have the forward and back button. So what I appreciate with regards to the forward and back button is not only it is super easy to reach without necessarily have to adjust my grip, as you can see here, but the forward button actually has the subtle bump. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it has a subtle bump which makes it easier for me to press the button. So that's a very subtle design element that actually makes sense. Now, in terms of the left and right, again, we have Kale GM 8.0. So it does have a very crispy click, but it's not heavy at all, at least for my preference. And then going to the scroll wheel. Okay, so the scroll wheel doesn't have that enough tactile feedback for my preference, but it's not bad either. But the good thing here is it doesn't have any squeaking sound and perfectly stable. It doesn't wobble, as you can see here. And it doesn't have any annoying sound other than the typical tactile feedback sound. So yeah, the DPI button is easily reachable as well, but it's not clicky. There's some click sound, but not so much. Now, in terms of the build quality, let's see. Shake test. So as you can see, it's almost entirely silent, which means there's no rattling, there's no build quality issue here. And if I press really hard around the body, it doesn't have any squeaking sound, which is awesome. I remember the UX3, Fantech UX3 has very annoying squeaking sound. So again, gaming mouse from Fantech has been improved throughout the years as well. So yeah, now moving on, the back cover is actually removable, as you can see here, and it is attached using magnets with these 3 small screws and 3 magnets here around the body. We have our USB dongle here, again 2.4 GHz frequency, not Bluetooth. There you go, and you can easily tuck it inside. Now, what's confusing here, or I think there's a missed opportunity, because since this is removable, I hope they can also include honeycomb version of this, but later I will show you something. But like I said, I think it's a good opportunity if they will offer a honeycomb version of this to reduce some of the weight, because this one is 72 grams, and I think there's still potential to reduce that weight in my opinion. But regardless, 72 grams again is pretty lightweight for a wireless gaming mouse. Now, let me just plug this in so that we can check the RGB lighting. So the RGB lighting on this gaming mouse is actually pretty subtle. As you can see, we just have a small lining here. So let me just turn this on. There you go. So again, just a subtle lining around the back part of the mouse. Now what's interesting here is that the lighting lights up when you don't use the mouse, and then when you move it around, it actually turns off. I know, there you go. So that's one way to save power, which is pretty awesome in my opinion, because technically you don't really need the RGB lighting when you're using the mouse because you actually don't see it here, right? So it's actually one good feature. Now what else can I say about this mouse before we move on? Again, the back cover has some potential to be replaced with a honeycomb one. Actually printed a couple here just to give you guys an idea. And although what I printed is not super lightweight or not significantly lighter than the back cover, because this back cover, the default one, is 7 grams and the one that I printed is 6 grams. By the way, thank you Sir Fandy for providing me with the file. So this is for personal use. This one is 7 grams and this one is 6 grams, so it's not really significant, which gives us an idea that they actually made the cover pretty lightweight already, that you don't really need something like this. The reason why I printed this one is that I want to explore other options to reduce the weight of this mouse, as well as so that I can print different colors for the back cover. So as you can see, this one actually perfectly fit the mouse here, so I can print different colors like brown, red, blue, depending on my preference. Printing takes around 4 hours because I want to make sure that the quality is okay. So yeah, but I digress. Going back to the mouse, like I said, maybe they can offer replacement covers for this as an additional option. So in terms of the performance, like I said, we have the Pixar 3370, which is pretty reliable when it comes to FPS games, even for competitive. Alright, so before we move on, let me open the application so that we can discuss here. There you go. So right here we have the software for the Fantech Helios Go XD5. So we have total of 4 tabs. The first one is the key settings, or the configuration tab, wherein you can change pretty much any buttons here to a different function, like mouse function, polling rate switch, profile switch, fire key combination, and you can also disable the button entirely, use it for macro recordings, DPI adjustment, multimedia, and DPI lock. So yeah, you can pretty much customize this to your preference. You can also set the debounce level here from, I guess, 0 ms to, let's see, I think 30 ms if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, to 30 ms. So let's just set it to default, which is 12. And then on the second tab, we have the DPI settings here, and you can adjust this in increments of 50. There you go. And you have up to 7 different DPI stages. So you can also adjust the polling rate from 125 Hz to 1000 Hz, and you can even adjust the lift-off distance from 1 mm to 2 mm. I think I'll just set this up to 1 mm. You also have ripple control, angle snapping, and of course the basic mouse parameters right here. The third tab now is the macro recording. I won't bother with this. And then the third one is the RGB lighting configuration. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the off. And of course, since this one supports 16.8 million colors, we have pretty much all the colors on the spectrum. So again, that means true RGB colors, and the transition should be smooth between different colors, as you can see here. You can also set the brightness, speed of the animation, turn off. Yeah, you can also set the power saving mode here, as well as the duration of the auto sleep timer. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the software. Pretty straightforward, but useful nonetheless. Okay, so before we finish this video, guys, again, this is just a quick review. Actually, it's not really quick, but at least you have a quick glimpse about the design, construction, software, and features of this mouse. Let me just give you guys a quick comparison between the Fantech Helios Go XD5 and my two other gaming mouse right here. That includes the previous version XD3 as well as my current daily driver, the Logitech G304. So just a size comparison. So yeah, here's the XD5. Actually, let me just include the Logitech G304 on the screen. There you go. So as you can see, they actually don't differ much from each other, at least for the height. But of course, there's some slight differences. I think the XD3 is a little bit longer compared to the two. But in terms of the height, there you go. I mean the bump. And then for the G304, so as you can see, the G304 is significantly smaller compared to the two. There you go. And then here in front, and of course at the back, so that you can have an idea in case you're interested on upgrading from either the G304 or the XD3. Okay, for the XD3, and then in front, there you go. So yeah, that's a quick size comparison. So in terms of the performance, let's talk about it. Now, in terms of performance in gaming, most of my gripes with budget gaming mouse is usually just about the overall build quality, shape, and if it fits my hands, grip style, and preference, as most of the modern sensors nowadays are already on point and reliable even on budget gaming mouse like this, and the Pixar 3370 on the Fantech Helios Go XD5 is no exception. It is accurate and perfectly reliable in competitive FPS. As for the shape, it will still take time for me to fully transition to this coming from a symmetrical shape, but as of the moment, I'm liking how it feels in my hands. So yeah, overall, for its design, construction, features in relation to its price, I can definitely recommend the Fantech Helios Go XD5. And there you have it guys for my unboxing and quick review of the Fantech Helios Go XD5. You can get this from the links below. Huge thanks to Fantech Philippines for sending this in. And thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.